You spent years, maybe decades, becoming who the world needed you to be. But now you're wondering, who are you without the mask? And how do you even begin to unmask when it feels like your whole personality may be one? Let's take this gently together. I'm Michelle, and this is Late Diagnosed, a channel that I started in order to share my own journey, learning how to live life on the spectrum after my own late diagnosis of autism and ADHD at the age of 54. And today we're going to talk about how to unmask. What is masking really? Masking is when we hide or suppress our true selves in order to meet expectations of a neurotypical world around us. It's not lying, it's surviving. It's a learned behaviour. And for many of us, it's automatic. It's something that we've just applied over the years through feedback, through lived experience. And it's something that we just do, and oftentimes we don't even know we're doing it. Here's a quick checklist of common masking behaviours. Faking eye contact when it feels uncomfortable. Smiling constantly to appear friendly. Rehearsing conversations in your head before speaking. Mimicking other people's tone, posture, or expressions. Suppressing stimming like fidgeting, pacing, humming. Hiding sensory sensitivities like noise, the way fabric feels on your skin, lighting. Forcing yourself into social situations out of obligation. Over-preparing for simple tasks or meetings. Apologising excessively. Avoiding showing your true interests or your enthusiasm. Feeling exhausted after being on all day. Not knowing who you really are when you're alone. If you're new to this, here are some gentle ways to start recognising the masks that you've put forward to the neurotypical world around you. Last week's video, I touched on this, and you may want to watch that, and I'll link that in the description. Number 1, reflect on where you feel most drained. Ask yourself, do I feel like I'm performing in this space? Number 2, compare how you act around different people or in different situations. Do you change tone, expression, body language to suit the environment that you're in? Number 3, notice when you're hyper aware of yourself. And that can present like monitoring your own body language, being aware that you need to do a certain thing or be a certain way so that you can appear normal, or constantly self-correcting in conversation. Number 4, track your recovery time. Masking takes energy. Do you need quiet time to recover? Do you need time away from other people? Do you need silence, alone time, or sleep after socialising? Number 5, start journaling what feels off. Any moment where you feel fake or afterward think, that didn't feel like me, write that down. How to start unmasking gently. Here's the part most people get wrong. Unmasking doesn't mean ripping it all off. That can be really traumatic. Unmasking should be and can be a slow return to self, to authenticity. Step 1. Begin in safe places. Choose moments when you're alone or when you're with someone you fully trust. Let your stims out. Say no. Don't smile if you don't feel like it. Step 2. Explore your true preferences. Try asking yourself, what do I want to do right now? Do I like this? Or am I just used to liking this? What's my way of doing this? Step 3. Let yourself be boring, awkward, weird, silent. You're not here to entertain, and you're not here to make other people feel comfortable. You're here to exist, and you have as much right to exist as anybody else does. Step 4. Set boundaries around energy and time. Protect your recovery time like it's sacred, because it is. One of the greatest things you can do for yourself is to set time to recover and protect it, because that's what's going to help your nervous system re-regulate after being in an environment that was dysregulating for you. Step 5. Find other unmasked people. Community changes everything. When you find other people who are unmasking, it gives you permission to do the exact same thing, and it helps you to do it safely. What to expect emotionally? Unmasking can bring a lot up: grief, identity confusion, anger, freedom, fear. You might mourn the version of you that tried so hard to survive. That's okay. That version got you here. Now you get to meet you. What did my masking look like before I even knew it was masking? Well, that's a very good question, and I've done a bit of a deep dive on that one. For me, it always meant that I was, or thought, I was the low maintenance friend. I was the one who was happy to go along with whatever. I was also the one who organised things too. But what it meant was that I over-prepared. So I scripted a lot. I went to the nth degree to understand if we were going to a new place to meet up for dinner or whatever, then I would go ahead onto the website and find the menu, and I would find out how to get there and then work out what time I needed to get there. So I was doing all of this prep work for it, which is exhausting in itself. But I did that because I wanted to still engage with all of my friends, even if it was doing something that I found difficult. I would still press through and do it. A bit of a clue for me was a lot of people saying to me, "You're so resilient." And I understand that in the context of my past relationship and on pursuing recovery from that and the difficulties that I had with that, but also ongoing difficulties that I've had with my employer and around my flexible work arrangement and what that's been costing me personally. Resilience is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But what it hides is the fact that it is costing me a lot. It's costing me so much energy mentally. There's been a lot of skill regression in burnout. And I feel like part of that masking journey and unmasking has really revealed more honestly the toll all of that has taken on me. The breaking point for me has been burnout, which I'm currently in. And I have thought, as I've been learning since my late diagnosis, that part of unmasking is necessary, and I feel like the expectations, especially around work, are that prior to my diagnosis, you were able to cope with all of these things and you were doing this and you were able to do that, and now you're not. Well, my diagnosis hasn't actually changed that, and perhaps unmasking has. But basically what unmasking does is create for me an environment that is far more healthy by being authentic, by being honest about the toll that it's taken, and by advocating for myself, standing up for myself, putting boundaries in place and saying, hey, this is what I need, this is what I deserve, and this is not asking too much. So burnout is really teaching me that I need to find the energy somehow to keep advocating. And I can tell you there are some days where I don't have energy to barely exist. And I mask that all the time. No one sees that part of me because no one really wants to know that part. And that's okay, I get it. I totally get it. But there are days where it's really hard and I feel guilty for resting. I feel guilty most of the time for resting, but I know that that's the only way out of burnout, is to rest and to allow myself freedom to not have any responsibilities. And that's hard for all of us. Totally get that one. The first step for me in unmasking was basically allowing myself to say, I'm not okay. This isn't working for me. And to start working out what would work for me, what support that I needed, and finding the voice to ask for that support. And when I'm not getting the support, to just keep asking until I get it. And I'm still in that process, the pushback. when others want you to keep masking. Now, all of us are going to experience that at some point. It might only be at work, which would be nice if that's the only place, but sometimes it will come from family and friends, and you'll find that in your own unique journey. You still need to advocate for yourself though, because at the end of the day, no one else is going to do it for you. Unless you've got someone in your corner who is helping you do this, in which case, bravo to that person. The reality is that friends, family, colleagues, they all prefer the masked version of you because that's the easier version for them. But it's never going to be the easier version for you. And so you have to make up your mind what it is that you're going to unmask and what you're going to keep masking. You're the one who has to take stock of what that's going to cost you and whether that is going to be something that you are willing to pay. Unmasking and what that has given me is a strength that I probably knew somewhere in the background that I had. But part of that has been in sharing this journey and in hearing from you and what it's meant for you to find someone like me who's like you. None of that made sense. But what it's meant is peace for myself, understanding myself more deeply and making allowances for what I need and being okay with that. Accepting myself for who I really am instead of the masks that I've worn for decades has been a very positive experience for me overall. There's been difficulties with unmasking, and I'm sure there will continue to be difficulties as I continue on that journey. It's never going to be easy. And the reason it's not going to be easy is because we have to exist in a neurotypical world. And I'm hoping to raise more awareness so that people understand what it costs us to exist in that world. And instead of us having to fit into that world, for them to make allowances, for them to understand more easily and become truly inclusive, not just in words, but in action. By accepting that the world exists differently for us and to allow for that. That's the ultimate goal for me. Unmasking has been an opportunity for me to present who I really am to the world. And whether they accept that or not is completely irrelevant in my mind, because what I'm doing is creating space for myself. And I hope that by doing that, I'm also creating space for you, for your own journey, for your own unmasking journey, or even just your own journey in understanding who you really are, who you've always been, and how valuable you are as a person. Whether that means you've got a label, whether you don't like labels, whether you do like labels, none of that matters. What it is for me is about creating a community, creating a space where you feel seen, where you feel understood, and where you don't feel overlooked. That, to me, is the greatest part of doing this and sharing my own journey. And if you're on the unmasking journey too, leave a butterfly emoji in the comments so that I know you're on this journey with me. Because unmasking is transformation work, and you deserve to be as beautiful on the outside as you already are on the inside. If you've stayed here this long, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I would love to hear from you. Check out this video next. I'll catch you over there.